Let's talk about broken things. Not just the cup that slipped from your hand, or the phone screen that cracked on the pavement, but the deeper breaks. The ones you can't always see. The kind that happen inside a person. A hurt that lands in your childhood and never really leaves. A loss that hollows you out. A betrayal that changes the color of the world. We spend so much of our lives trying to pretend those breaks aren't there. We try to sweep up the pieces. We try to act like the vase is still perfect, still whole. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if the break isn't the end of the story, but the place where a new kind of beauty can begin? This is a conversation about trauma, about healing, and about a centuries-old Japanese art that might just hold a secret for how to put ourselves back together. When we're very young, if we're lucky, we think life is supposed to be smooth. We think we're supposed to be perfect, uncracked. We have this idea that the goal is to get through life without a single scratch, to keep all the pieces in their neat, original places. But life isn't like that. Life has corners and sharp edges and things or people that can knock us off the shelf. Sooner or later, for all of us, something happens. It might be one big, loud, shattering event. Or it might be 1,000 small, quiet cracks over time. And when it happens, our first instinct is simple. We want it to stop. Then we want to forget it ever happened. We want to go back to the before picture. We want to be that smooth, perfect vase again. So we try. We hide the damage. We tell ourselves, I'm fine. We bury the memory. We lock the feeling away in a room in our mind and throw away the key. We think that if we ignore the break, it will stop being broken. But here's the painful truth. It doesn't work that way. The body remembers. Long after your mind has tried to move on, your body keeps the score. There's a famous psychiatrist, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. He wrote the book with that very title, The Body Keeps the Score. For decades, he's studied what happens to people after trauma. And what he found is this. Trauma isn't just a memory you think about. It's an imprint, a change in your very wiring. It's a memory that lives in your heartbeat, in the tension in your shoulders, in the way you jump at a loud noise, in the feeling that comes out of nowhere in a crowded room. Your body stores the record of what happened to you. And when something in the present feels even a little bit like the past, your body reacts. It sounds the alarm. It thinks you're back in that old danger.
Estia. Van der Kolk writes.
Trauma is not just an event that took place sometime in the past. It is also the imprint left by that experience on mind, brain, and body. This imprint has ongoing consequences for how the human organism manages to survive in the present. It changes how you think. It can even change your ability to think clearly. You can't just wish this imprint away. You can't argue with it, because it's not living in the part of you that uses words. It's living in your nerves, in your senses, trying to pretend you're not broken when your body knows that you are, is a war with yourself. And it is exhausting.
Van der Kolk puts it plainly.
As long as you keep secrets and suppress information, you are fundamentally at war with yourself. Hiding your core feelings takes an enormous amount of energy. It saps your motivation, and it leaves you feeling bored and shut down. The path forward, he says, begins with one courageous act, allowing yourself to know what you know, to feel what you feel, to look at the broken pieces on the floor and say, yes, this happened. I am broken here. That takes real courage. But it's the only way the healing can possibly start. Now, this idea of staring straight at your own brokenness goes against so much of what we're taught, especially in the Western world. We love the new, the shiny, the perfect. We value things that look like they've never been touched. If something breaks, we want it fixed so perfectly, you'd never know it was damaged. We apply this same standard to ourselves. We see our cracks as flaws, as failures, as evidence that we're damaged goods. We think, If I were stronger, this wouldn't have broken me. We feel shame. But what if this view is itself broken? What if there's another way to see? To find it, let's travel. Across the world and across time. To Japan. Centuries ago. There's a story. It might be a legend, but the truth is in the idea. A powerful shogun, a military ruler named Ashikaga Yoshimasa, had a beloved tea bowl. A simple, beautiful ceramic piece he used in his tea ceremonies. One day it fell. It shattered. Heartbroken, he sent it all the way to China to be repaired. The finest craftsmen there fixed it. They used metal staples to bind the pieces back together. It was functional. It held tea again. But when Yoshimasa held it, he was disappointed. The repair was ugly, brutal. The staples looked like scars. They shouted about the damage. They tried to dominate the break, to force it to disappear. The bowl felt cold, violent. It lacked care. It lacked grace. So Yoshimasa asked Japanese artisans for another solution. He wanted the bowl mended, but with attention, with artistry. What they created changed everything. They took the broken pieces, and instead of hiding the breaks, they highlighted them. They used a special lacquer, mixed with powdered gold, to glue the pieces back together. The golden lines traced the paths of the break, like rivers of light on the ceramic. They didn't hide the damage. They adorned it. They made it the most beautiful part of the bowl. When Yoshimasa held it this time, he saw something new. The bowl wasn't just repaired. It was transformed. It had a story now. A story of breakage and care and rebirth. This art became known as Kintsugi. It means golden joinery, and it's more than an art. It's a philosophy. Kintsugi is part of a bigger Japanese worldview called wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is hard to translate perfectly, but at its heart, it finds beauty in things that are imperfect, temporary, incomplete, worn. It finds beauty in the crack in the teacup, in the moss on the stone, in the gray hair, in the fading leaf. Says, nothing lasts, nothing is finished, nothing is perfect. And that is not something to be sad about. That is the source of its beauty. Kintsugi is wabi-sabi you can hold in your hands. It takes the central fact of life that things break, and doesn't just accept it, celebrates it. The bowl mended with gold is considered more beautiful, more valuable than the bowl that never broke. Think about that for a moment. The trauma, the breakage, the shattering. It becomes part of your unique design. It becomes part of your story. And when you mend it with care, with the gold of self-compassion and acceptance, you don't just return to what you were. You become something new, something with a history visible in its very frame. The golden seams are a map of where you've been. They are proof I broke, and I am still here. I was put back together. And here's something remarkable. Often, the bowl mended with kintsugi is actually stronger at the broken places. The golden lacquer binds it more firmly than the original clay. This is a concept we have a word for today, anti-fragile. The writer Nassim Nicholas Taleb coined it. He said some things are fragile, they break under stress. Some things are resilient, they withstand stress and stay the same. But anti-fragile things, they get better under stress. They grow stronger from disorder. A kintsugi bowl is anti-fragile. The shock that broke it led to a new strength, a new beauty. And we are meant to be anti-fragile beings. Not that we should seek out pain. But when pain finds us, as it inevitably will, we have the capacity, with the right care, to mend in a way that leaves us stronger at the broken places. The break is not what defines you. The mending is. Now let's be clear. This is an analogy, a beautiful, hopeful idea. The real work of mending a human soul is much harder than fixing a bowl. The pieces might be dust. The break might be so old the edges don't fit anymore. The pain might be so deep you can't even find all the fragments. This is where Dr. van der Kolk's work comes back in. The gold we use to mend ourselves isn't literal. It's the golden practices of healing. It's the courage to say, "This hurt me." It's the self-compassion to say, "No wonder I feel this way." It's the patience to sit with the pain instead of running from it. It might be therapy. It might be a support group. It might be yoga or mindfulness, practices van der Kolk champions, because they gently help your body feel safe again. They help rewrite the alarm signals. It might be creative expression, painting, writing, music, letting the pain out in a form you can finally look at. It might be simply telling your story to one safe person, allowing yourself to be seen in your brokenness. This is the golden lacquer. Tension, care, courage, time. You are not just gluing yourself back into your old shape. You are creating a new shape, a shape that includes your history, your anxiety. That might be a golden seam now, a reminder of a time you were in danger, and now you are safe. Your heightened sensitivity, that might be a golden line of empathy for others who hurt. The things you thought were just flaws might be the very places where your new strength is forged. There's another beautiful layer to Kintsugi. It's not just about the self. When you mend your own breaks, when you learn to see the beauty in your own repaired cracks, you start to see the world differently. You stop expecting perfection from everyone else. You see the golden seams in the people around you. You recognize their breaks, their repairs, their hidden strength. You realize that brokenness is the one thing that connects every single one of us. No one gets through life unscathed. We are all, in some way, Kintsugi masterpieces, walking around with invisible golden seams. Your suffering connects you to my suffering. My healing inspires your healing. We are all these fragile, beautiful vessels, constantly being broken and mended. And in that shared experience, there is an immense connection, a deep, unspoken understanding. We stop pretending. We can say, "I am broken here," and the other person can nod and say, "Me too. Let me show you my golden seam." This is how we build a world that isn't afraid of breaks. A world that values the art of repair over the myth of perfection. So, tonight or tomorrow, I invite you to try a new way of seeing. Look at your own life, not for the perfect, unbroken surfaces, but for the golden seams. Where are the places you've been hurt? Where are the places you've healed? Don't hide those lines. Trace them with your mind's eye. They are not evidence of your weakness. They are proof of your endurance. They are your story, written in resilience. You are not a ruined vase. You are a Kintsugi masterpiece, a one-of-a-kind creation, where the breaks have become the source of your unique light. The body keeps the score, yes, but you can choose the gold with which you mend it. And in that mending, you don't just win back your life. You create a work of art. Thank you for listening. Be gentle with your broken pieces, and may you mend with gold.